Hi, this is Tara, and if you're joining this for the first time, we are studying Patanjali's Yogasutras through 6 different bhashyas. If you're a regular listener, thank you so much for listening. Do remember to like, share, subscribe, and click the bell notification so that you will know when the next episode is up. I typically post one sutra a day. Sometimes there are gaps. Please excuse me for those. I try to be as consistent as I can, and we are all studying this together through the bhashyas of Maharishi Ved Vyasa, Swami Vivekananda, Swami Satyananda, BKS Iyengar, Osho, and Barbara Stoller Miller. So from extremely traditional to extremely modern interpretations of each sutra. So today we're doing sutra number 31. What does it say? Dukkha daurmanasya angam ejayatva shwasa prashwasa vikṣepa-sahabhuvaḥ. Dukkha is suffering, daurmanasya is negative thinking, anga, limb, ejayatva, that is unsteadiness, shwasa, that is breathing, difficulty in breathing, things like asthma, prashwasa is also breathing, one is inhalation, vikṣepa, distraction, and sahabhuvaḥ is accompany. So basically what he's saying is, in the 31st sutra, is that pain, despair, shakiness, inspiration, expiration are the companions of the distractions. Which distraction does he mean? He means the 9 obstacles that are mentioned in sutra number 30. What are each of these accompanying distractions to the obstacles? Pain is, he says, either from oneself, that is self-caused, or from extraterrestrial objects. He also means things like fate and what we believe comes from the positions of the planets influencing us, or from the powers of nature, something like a natural disaster, genetics. Some of us may be born with congenital illnesses, disabilities. These kinds of things also can cause pain. I find that very relevant because I have a flat foot which I cannot do anything about, but which is greatly painful for me in things like standing asanas. So it's something that we must all overcome. I'm sure all of us have our own. Pain is that affected by which people try to do away with it. So how do you identify something as pain? Patanjali says, if you're affected and you want to get rid of it, it is a cause of pain. Despair is the condition of the mind consequent upon the non-fulfillment of some desire. You wanted something, you didn't get what you want. What follows that is despair. Disease is the disturbance of the equilibrium of the humors and the organs of the body. Disease was mentioned in the obstacles. I have by mistake put it here. Just ignore that. But shakiness is that which causes the organs to shake. Inspiration is the action of the life force drinking in external air. Expiration is that which throws out the internal gas. And these are the companions of the distractions of the mind. They appear in him whose mind is distracted. So pain, despair, shakiness, inspiration, expiration are the companions of the distractions. Now he says these are the distractions of the mind. They appear in the mind of one who is distracted. They do not appear in the mind of one who is not distracted. So we understand the state of our Citta by the appearance of these distractions. Swami Satyananda says pain, depression, shaking of the body and unrhythmic breathing are the accompanying symptoms of mental distraction. So he says everyone, whether they are a spiritual aspirant or not, are prone to the 9 obstacles and their accompanying symptoms. So you don't have to be a yogi to experience these. You're going to experience them. But with some persons, they become very natural conditions. And this distraction, Swami Satyananda says, is the inward process of awareness, must be carefully studied. So one should know if the obstacle is happening as a natural process or if they are arising as a result of meditation and other practices. So what he's basically saying is, in Sutra number 30 also he explains that Ayurveda, which is also given to us by Patanjali, the principle of Ayurveda is that natural illnesses are not suppressed as in Western medicine, allopathy. They're not pushed into the body. They are sort of pulled out. They emerge more with the practices. So also these distractions and obstacles, they arise through the practice of yoga. You become aware of them, and if you are becoming more aware of a suppressed illness, of despair, of shakiness, and all of these mentioned distractions and obstacles, okay, then you have to understand that the chitta is undergoing a distracted condition, and what the practice is doing is it's going deep in and it's pulling these things out. So these symptoms that are presented in the form of distractions and those enumerated as obstacles in the previous sutras, they are not mental processes. They are actually psychic manifestations. They are common both to the average person and the aspirant whose mind is turning inwards to meditation. Swami Vivekananda says grief, mental distress, tremor of the body, irregular breathing accompany non-retention and concentration. Non-retention of concentration. So concentration will bring perfect repose to the mind and the body every time it is practiced. It is a given. This is the cause, this is the effect. If your mind is concentrated, you will have repose. So when the practice has been misdirected or not controlled enough, these disturbances arise. So repetition of Om, which is what Patanjali has explained to us in these previous sutras, and surrender to God, Ishvara Pranidhana, will strengthen the mind and bring fresh energy. The nervous shakings, he says, will come to everyone. Do not mind them, but keep practicing. The more you practice, you will cure them and the mind becomes firm. BKS Iyengar says sorrow, despair, unsteadiness of the body and irregular breathing further distract the chitta. So besides the previous obstacles, the four more causes of distraction, and he says these impediments are of three types. They are self-inflicted, adhyatmika, imbalances of elements in the body, that is adhibhautika, and problems brought by fate or genetic defects, which is abhidaivika. They need to be conquered through yogic disciplines. So many of us, as we mentioned earlier, have some or the other obstacle that comes up. There's nobody who is devoid of obstacles. These may be physical illnesses, we may be born with these defects, we may be undergoing some trauma, some physical ailments, some mental stresses. We may, have low immunity, get frequent fevers, coughs, colds. We may be affected by the weather, by forces of nature, things beyond our control. Maybe bones ache when it gets too cold. Maybe when it's too hot, we are just not able to practice. These are just some common ones, but each of us have our own impediments. So what he's saying is these can be self-inflicted, brought about by the forces of nature, by fate. And so whatever it is, we can overcome it through Ishvara Pranidhana, that is surrender to God, and by the repetition of the pranava, the Om, and by continuing the practice without ceasing. Osho says anguish, despair, tremors, and irregular breathing are the symptoms of a distracted mind. So these are the symptoms. Anguish is to always be anxiety ridden, always split, okay, always sad, have despair in the mind, subtle tremors in the body energy. Because when the body energy is not running in a circle, and if you notice what he says in Sutra number 30, he says when you chant Om, Om completes the circle. There's a cyclic flow of energy within the body. So when that cycle is not complete, there can be shaking and tremors, trembling, fear, and irregular breathing. Then your breathing cannot be rhythmic. It cannot be a song, says Osho. It cannot be harmony. It becomes irregular. So these are the symptoms of a distracted mind. And against these are the symptoms of a mind who is centered. So the chanting of Om makes you centered. Your breathing becomes rhythmic. Tremors in the body disappear. You will not be nervous. Sadness will be replaced by a happy feeling, and you will feel joy. So, this is how this chanting of the pranava is so powerful. He says that it can replace all of these obstacles and distractions, 9 obstacles, 4 distractions, with the feeling of completeness and bliss. Barbara Stoller Miller says these distractions are accompanied by suffering, frustration, trembling of the body, and irregular breathing. And as she says, she combines these 4 sutras and explains them together. She says chanting the resonant syllable clears away all obstacles, and this practice focuses the mind on the single truth, the nature of reality. So she's saying, how does it clear the obstacles? It channels everything into one clear field of potent vibration. Thank you so much. I hope this is helpful to you. Please do try it, and let me know how it works for you to chant Om, whether it gives you some peace of mind and helps deal with some of the obstacles. Do come back tomorrow for Sutra number 30.